At the outset, I would really like to thank the convener of the session for giving me this opportunity to be here. And I'm really privileged to be student of Professor Anand Kumar. And it has been a long association since 1990s. But before I, can speak about participatory democracy and public sociology, what I have learned through interacting with him, I would first like to convey the message from the Department of Sociology, Jamia Millia Islamia. So, with your permission, respected Professor Anand Kumar, on behalf of Department of Sociology, Jamia Millia Islamia, I extend our warmest greeting and heartfelt congratulations to you on your. It is not only a celebration of your life but also of your remarkable academic journey and invaluable contributions to the discipline of sociology. We deeply appreciate the celebration of your academic legacy organized by Center for Study of Social Systems, Jawaharlal Nehru University, an institution where your scholarship, teaching, and mentorship has left a lasting imprint on generations of students and colleagues. Your work has significantly enriched sociological discourse in India and beyond, inspiring critical thought and meaningful engagement with society's most pressing issues. As a renowned sociologist, your contributions continue to guide and motivate scholars, researchers, and practitioners. We wish you good health, happiness, and many more years of continued inspiration. May your legacy keep nurturing the spirit of sociological inquiry and social responsibility for generations to come. This is with warm regards from the head of the department on behalf of Department of Sociology, sir. Thank you. Friends, now I come to my own interaction, which I really want to speak about because, we have got this virasat and we are all known as Guru Bhai, Guru Bain. That is what I was discussing. And it is a privilege to be a part of Anand Kumar's Kumbha family, the kinship, we are here, which we are sharing. And it is a privilege to speak on participatory democracy and public sociology themes that are not only central to the scholarship of Professor Anand Kumar, but also vividly embodied in the way he lives his life. And that is what I want to talk about. We have heard Bimal. Bimal has very, intellectually put the theme into the perspective, and also Professor Sanjay has also elaborated it that how Anand Kumar is an institution and how he has touched our lives makes a lot of difference. So it is significant that on his birthday, 75th birthday, a moment that calls us to reflect not only on this intellectual contribution but also on his moral presence in our lives. Professor Anand Kumar often reminds us in a manner deeply inspired by Gandhi's philosophy that democracy is not just about casting a vote every 5 years. It is not simply about parliaments and political parties. I think throughout morning we have been talking about what is participatory democracy, and he rightly says that true democracy begins with ordinary citizens taking charge of their own destinies. When people participate in decision making, challenge injustice, and shape the society they wish to live in. This is his vision of participatory democracy, one that echoes Gandhi's ideal of Gram Swaraj, village self-rule, where the voices of the weakest matter most. And this is a very important lesson which he has not only taught in classrooms but he has practiced. And we have seen my association with him goes back to 1990s, and I remember that how he would engage his students in participatory sociology. He would take us, Tibet Solidarity Group, Tibet Friendship Group, he had formed that group at that time, and how he made us members to feel so much part of it. Not only the responsibilities, he'll give us duties, he'll make us the members, the ambassadors of that change, and that has really personally changed my life. Think about it. What good is democracy if the poor remains voiceless, if the young remains unheard, if civil society remains silent? Professor Anand Kumar insists that participatory democracy must be lived every day, not only on election day. He asks us to imagine a society where village councils, women's groups, trade unions, student movements, and social campaigns all become engines of change. He talks about social transformation, he talks about action, he talks about social responsibility. This is not an abstract theory but a Gandhian call for decentralization and people's power. And here is where his second great passion comes: public sociology. The idea of public sociology, famously articulated by Michael Burrows, seeks to bridge academic knowledge with public engagement. Professor Anand Kumar localizes and expands his vision in India, insisting that sociology must step out of the ivory towers and walk into the streets, the fields, and the communities. For him, this is the true spirit, both Gandhian sociology, humility in learning, solidarity in practice, and responsibility in action. This is the gift to us, vision of sociology as living dialogue between scholarship and society. That is what he was talking in his address in the morning. He teaches us that the task of sociologist is not only to interpret the world but to help transform it by amplifying the voices of marginalized, critiquing structures of inequality, and nurturing democratic values in everyday life. And I remember his support which I got for establishing minority studies. I had floated a proposal in 2007, and it is only in 2014, when he was the president of Indian Sociological Society, it could see the birth of the day. And it was only his efforts and his intervention that we had this RC26 on minority studies in Indian Sociological Society. This is how, the small idea which came into my mind, and how he nurtured that, and he saw that it comes and it sees the reality. But to speak of him only as a scholar would be incomplete. He is truly a legend who touches countless lives, including mine. My own journey with him began during my MPhil days. I still remember standing nervously outside his office, requesting him to take me under his supervision. He steps out, looked at me with warmth and said, "मेरे साथ क्यों करना चाहती हो? Explore करो." Then he added with smile, "अच्छा अपना synopsis लाओ." So, this is his simplicity. I was so nervous, and sheepishly I was standing, and I said, "Sir, I want to work." And he was always flocked with students, and to find even a single second to talk to him was very difficult. But I remember I had come from Jamia. He had his master's student who were from JNU, but the way, he took me under his wings is, really appreciable and gratitudinal. What always struck me is how greatly he inquires about our family, our personal life, until quietly he becomes part of it. When I chose to marry across community, he stood firmly with me, not only supporting my decision, but also reaching out to my alma mater to help me and find professional grounding. I'm in Jamia because of you, sir. I don't know whether you remember, you asked Professor Moini Anjum to find a position for me. So thank you so much. Somewhere along the way, he stops being only my supervisor and truly becomes a family. That is what we call Anand Kumar ka kumbha. We all here sitting, his students, his children, हम सब जो एक रिश्ता हम में बंधा हुआ है गुरु बहन का और गुरु भाई का, वो बहुत मायने रखता है हमारे लिए. And that sense of family is completed by Manjula Bhabhi's motherly affection. Their home is always a warm and open. Sir always greeted us with smile, asking, "Chai piya? Paisa hai ya nahi?" Every encounter with him, whether in his house, his office, or even on the street, is a lesson in sociology. Not the sociology confined to books, but sociology lived through relationships, inclusivity, and everyday practices of dignity and respect. In this, he is Gandhian to the core, believing that respect, simplicity, and humanity are the true building blocks of democracy. And this is what we have learned from him in everyday life. His greatness also lies in his devotion to education. He firmly believes, much like Gandhi, that teaching is the noblest profession, for it shapes the moral core of the nation. As a teacher, he remains untouched by envy. Lessons to learn, friends. Professional jealousy bites us, but what I have learned from my teacher, he remains untouched by envy, malice, or anger. His nature is marked by boundless love, unshakable compassion, and indomitable courage to go to any extent for his students in social transformation and nation building. I have worked with him in many setups. Society for Communal Harmony, Citizen for Democracy, Tibetan Friendship Society, Samta Marg, and lot to learn from everyday experience. He carries forward the tradition of Lok Shikshan, people's education, enriching it through his scholarship and practice, very much in line with the Gandhian idea of education, character building, and social responsibility. For him, I learned that public sociology is not about academic debates but about living values, humility, equality, and care. Even the toughest times, when we had organized the All India Conference of ISS at GNU, and our dear Bhabi was undergoing dialysis, he shows unwavering commitment, rushing from inaugural session straight to the hospital. During his election campaign for AAP, I see him living in small room, surviving on a simplest food, yet carrying in his eyes sparkle, on his face an ever-present smile. In his simplicity, one can see Gandhian ethic of self-restraint and the sociologist ethic of commitment and collectivity. Through him, I also learned that participatory democracy begins in everyday life. His activism, from fighting tirelessly for Indian democracy to leading Society for Communal Harmony, Citizens for Democracy, Tibet Friendship Society, and Samta Marg, is always grounded in Gandhian values of nonviolence, dialogue, inclusivity, and inspired by Jayaprakash Narayan's vision of total revolution. His political spirit is always matched by compassionate heart, making him approachable to anyone from any walk of life. Friends, as we celebrate his 75th birthday, let us not see him only as a scholar or a supervisor. He is a teacher, a guide, a democrat, and above all, a human being who practices what he preaches. For me, every moment spent with him is sociology in action, connecting knowledge with compassion, ideas with activism, and scholarship with humanity. Today, as we witness disillusionment with politics and growing mistrust in institutions, his message rings louder than ever. I always, I marvel his patience. We have heated arguments that what is happening to India. Polarization, hatred, but he has an answer. He has an answer to that, and he's a strong believer in the democracy of India. Drawing from Gandhian faith in truth and non-violence and his sociological commitment to participatory transformation, he reminds us democracy must not be reduced to ritual of voting. It must be lived, practiced, and deepened through deliberation, through participation, and through collective action. Professor Anand Kumar at 75 is not only a milestone we celebrate, but a living force of inspiration, showing us that participatory democracy and public sociology are not mere concepts but ways of life. Let us honor his legacy by making democracy more participatory, sociology more public, and our own lives more humane, true to both his Gandhian philosophy and his sociological vision. शिक्षा वही है जो जीवन बदले, लोकतंत्र वही है जो सबको संभाले, और समाजशास्त्र वही है जनता से जुड़ जाए. Thank you very much. And the reason why I was shifted to the last was that Ashish and we have decided that we will come with a volume on democratic imagination and public sociology in your honor, sir, celebrating your work. And this also we have learned from you in 2014 when you had documented and you had asked us to write in honor of Professor Yogendra Singh. Yes. I remember that, and this is what we are trying, that if we can, we would bring your volume on this, and we will soon get back to all of you. Thank you very much.